Welcome back to the Realm of England update. So, we are up and down the realm, challenging any judge bringing an unlawful case in an administrative court. The bonds and oaths must be publicly available upon request. That is the law. We are claiming the bonds and taking back what was taken from the people. This is about civil procedural rules, the criminal justice rules, and the disclosure of evidence. The disclosure of a foreign state jurisdiction, all the things they've kept hidden for years. None of it is being followed, and now it is being exposed. We are the living executor by the king's order, and this is the hero's journey, and these parasites have nowhere to hide. The 15-minute cities, the you will own nothing and be happy, corporate control. That agenda only works if the people stay silent. We are not silent. No one else is coming to save you. And that's why the GoFundMe is there. Please donate. Please join the realm. We are in the court and we are winning. Protest means to accept the terms, but be unhappy. Petition means to beg. Sovereign people do not do either. This has taken years of dedicated work to return this knowledge to the people with purity and honour under the lawful realm of the land. We are coming for them. Grimsby, Bath, London, Wakefield, Stockport. It's happening. And here is Robin with an update.
Well, there's several that we're going to be on with today,
Yes.
which is it's the stuff that we've got going off at the minute in Stockport, London. Basically, I've been an absolute dragon, to be fair, up and down the country in the last few weeks. We went to London to one of the magistrate courts there. Again, I put the court manager under fiduciary duty immediately and said that she can't lie, and I know more than she thinks I know. And I then went through a whole list in my head of criminality and the court's criminality: usurpation of the Bill of Rights, usurpation of the inalienable documents, negligence to law, tort of abuse of process, tort of negligence, tort of misconduct, which all of these court managers are in. They are now claiming to be only employees of HMCT Courts and Services. It's fake. It's a private corporation now running under license without disclosure. That's a massive no-no. As there's loads of case laws we use. One of the famous quotes I use now is failure to reveal material facts to a license or agreement is immediate grounds for estoppel. That means they cannot move any further forward with any case or any enforcement procedures until they disclose everything. Case files, they won't do it because they haven't kept them. They've not opened them. She told me that all the letters that they get go into the dead mailbox, so they don't have to open them.
Shocking, but not.
And it just never gets filed because you are dealing in, you are in one jurisdiction, they are in another jurisdiction. So they don't have to deal with you because it's not you they're dealing with. This is the massive con that people have got to get into their heads.
Yeah.
Right? They cannot bring a man to court ever because they're in the courts are now in the wrong jurisdiction. They're administrative only. That's your High Court, Supreme Court. They're all working under corporate tutelage as a commercial enterprise. Therefore, they have to make you a commercial enterprise, which is basically you are now, as we've disclosed and people are still not getting it, you have been incorporated against your will and without your knowledge through acts and statutes that are fraudulent to take you from the land at lex terrain to the water, admiralty, maritime jurisdiction, which only can deal with vessels.
And it's like having this kind of key checklist that you're going into these courts, and it, like, I know I know I've used this term before, and you've said no, it's nothing fucking like that. You know, it is constitutional law, but there's kind of linear kind of points that we can kind of show people. You know, go and join the realm of England, how to do
Yep.
this, isn't there? You know, it's you've made it as simple as well as you possibly can. I know it's kind
We
of
have.
complex, but to
It
simplify
is,
it
and it's
to
not.
this point.
Look, the first thing you've got to understand is this. You are not a company. Prove I'm a company. You've claimed I'm this corporation. Prove it. You've claimed that I'm a PSC of this corporation. Prove it. He who claims must prove it. I don't have to disprove anything. I don't even have to open my mouth. There's a little thing that's now coming into force that we're all going to be using, which is breach of disclosure. If they don't disclose the evidence in prompt time before any case, the case is null and void due to disclosure breaches. And I think it comes between Article 1 and 6 under the Disclosure Act. CPR rules, right? CPS rules. All of these rules have gone out the window because they're for people. They're for living men and women. But when you go into an administrative court in front of a bar guild licensed judge in a foreign jurisdiction, from a foreign jurisdiction, that then illegally, and this is in Archibald's, I keep telling everybody, it's in the law books, it's in Archibald's, it is there. It's by illegal conversion, the man into the persona vessel, the PSV, or the trust vessel, to access your trust that they should have relinquished to you by your 7th birthday. But they don't, because they tie you up. And it's all there in statutes if you want to look for it. We've done a massive deep dive on most things now, and a lot of people around the world are starting to come together through realizing that we've all got significant pieces now of their jigsaw. And it's such as things as like using the 1986 and 2002 Reforms Act. It says in there, and I quote, "The living executor now commandeth and willeth by the king's order." So you now bring that in with your sui juris just naturel, just in rem, internationally recognised and standard throughout the treaties. Are you now going to breach treaty law? Are you now going to fundamentally usurp my constitutional safeguards, principles and protections? Are you realising and are you ready for the consequences of your own actions? You can no longer hide behind your corporate persona, because we've now got the laws, the ability to lift the corporate veil from government, from judges, from police officers, from everywhere. Look at what's going off at the minute. Chief constables now being charged with contempt of court, getting sentenced. Police officers, we've all seen the TikTok videos that are going around, now getting nicked for gross misconduct.
Yeah.
And that's every police officer going off. We're going to do a massive update tomorrow on the Grimsby War. That'll be a good hour and a half one. But that's going as we expected. They've literally not responded to anything. They've done whatever. So they're getting this week a silent tacit agreement that by their failure to disclose, by their failure not to answer, by their failure not to by their failure not to disclose case, file cases, everything, how you go from a civil dispute between the man and the council to a criminal dispute over a wall that's the correct height, it's just the wrong material, is beyond anybody's understanding. North Lincolnshire Council are now going to be hit with the £3 million invoice that was mentioned in court for usurpation of my constitutional rights. Right? Delay in sales, delayed in all sorts of nonsense that they tried to come up with. They surrendered the first application, and then by a breach of what's called double jeopardy principle, they then started again and again. Because every time they got knocked back and disposed of, they came back. Well, you can't do that. Not on the same stuff, on the same alleged offences, because there is no offence. Council policy is not law. But they're trying to bring it in that their policy, you have to abide by, and you have to do what we tell you to do. Well, the council works for us, the living. But while you accept being a Jane Doe or John Doe corporation, you lose. That's why we've done massive documents at the minute, demanding that the council now report back to us, to the chief executive, and must answer which entity are they trying to contract with. Is it the persona? Is it the trust vessel, quasi? Is it the PSC? Or is it the living executive? You must now address your documents clearly, with clarity, in law. We are not beholden by your policies. Fuck off. We've now got one of the lads has got a massive thing in at the minute. He's now reported the council, his council, and he's got a crime number against the council from the Serious Fraud Squad.
Yeah.
Things are changing. Everybody now knows and is getting very aware the court. And it's for us now to keep that pressure on. It's not to slump back and go, oh, thank God I can breathe, I can have a bit of space, because all they will do is come back twice as hard. We now cannot afford to take a breath. This is why I believe that the best way of doing this now is challenging them in every court and demanding full disclosure under our law, under the true law. Why is there not one constitutional monarchy court in England? Why are you all administrative? Who told you you could do that? Because without the power of the people, you have no power. It is our imperial crown, not fucking yours. Parliament is dissolved as the minute one we get it. Parliament can be dissolved in an instant because it's not working from constitutional law. It has usurped itself. Every department in government is under corporate DUNS numbers through UCC, Unified Commercial Codes for Business. That includes the police officers. That includes the police. They're all regionalised. It's not no longer a police force. It is a region corporation. That's how they've done it. They now have to put a bid in to their local council to get awarded the licence. Do me what? The PSC, Police and Crimes Commissioner, under the 2024 High Court review, judicial review, has stated as fact in paragraph 54, the PCC has no authority. It is nothing more than an administrative office costing the people of that region. It's been put in as a deliberate blockage to arrest police officers with no power or by illusion. And the high courts have accepted this principle. Not only have they accepted it, they've ruled upon it. But where's that on the news? Where's that on? Why is it down to sort of people like myself that are investigating all this, that are standing up for everybody?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
we
that's why
need
the
more of
data
this.
and the distribution, isn't it, is so important to them, because this is exactly what they want to do. We talked about on the last one, didn't we? With, it's like, go look at digital ID, or they're doing all this all, through the back door.
Hmm. And this is now where we have to come together and rubbish the fact that you're not taking the juries. It's a key principle of the foundation of law. Every court must have a jury. Every court. If it doesn't have a jury, the judge does not have consent to do anything. It is only on a presumption basis, and their silence, which is a breach and usurpation of treason laws, high treason. It is defamation by confirming that you are a corporate entity, them knowing full well that you've blood and not sawdust running through your veins. Because what is a corporation? It is nothing more than a piece of paper.
Yeah. So how does that look? So the cases, obviously, there's the Grimsby case, there was the Bath case, there's the London case, there's the Stockport case. I mean, the list is going on as you bombing up and
Yeah, we've got
down
the
the
Teesside. I'm up
realm.
in Teesside this week as well. They're
Yeah,
getting served.
Wakefield
The chief
Police.
constable's going to get served. He's now got 28 days to respond by full disclosure, or he will all the force will be estoppelled and will not be allowed upon the land. Their officers will now be confined to their ports of office. That's it. Because all police stations are ports. They're not of the land. Again, illegal conversion, it's through the Inland Waterways Act, and it's also through the Road Traffic Act, Section 10. Right? It is a joke. And this is what they've done through these illegal, unlawful acts and statutes. It's all about illegal conversion. It's putting your houses through the port codes, onto water, bringing you under full admiralty maritime doctrine as a vessel upon the water. And this all stems from just word trickery. And if you look up the 1666 and 1707 trust documents, it tells you there, you are a vessel temple of God, basically, right? So what they've done is they've taken the word vessel and used that through all the acts and statutes for 300 years. And they've
Yeah, yeah,
really started smashing it since 1933.
yeah. Like you say, it's just a little change here, a little change there, just gradually, so that nobody kind of really noticed until we did. Like, here we are.
Until we're here. And everybody keeps saying, no, the government's done this, the government's done that. Unfortunately, you've got to realise that the government, one, is not the government. Two, it has no authority over you whatsoever. None. It's only by illegal conversion, by you becoming and accepting that you are a vessel, that you are a British citizen slave, that you are under the United Kingdom Corporation rule and of the UK International Transatlantic Corporation, which is the Commonwealth Corporation. That's why all the judges are under the Commonwealth Judges and Magistrates Association Company. And if you want, I'll put the company number up.
Yeah.
Right? It is disgraceful what these people are getting away with. And they're
Yeah.
ruining people's lives by fraud, deception, banking conversions, solicitors under the Bar Guild authority of a foreign state, foreign jurisdiction, foreign nation, by illegal conversion under the SRA, Solicitors Regulatory Authority, which states it cannot work for or against a just in rem sovereign man because of the court systems as they run at the minute. The legal system within England, or the UK only works on commerce. When do they tell you that?
Yeah, no
When do they tell
disclosures.
you to go into a court now? You have to become your corporate fiction entity.
Yeah.
Now, where's the honesty? Where's the integrity that the solicitors are supposed to uphold and sworn to and deal with lawful, not legal?
Yeah.
This is the massive, massive usurpation of our constitutional rights. There is not one constitutional monarchy court within England.
And do you want to speak a bit more about the GoFundMe? Obviously, I mentioned it briefly in the intro and how important that is because we do, we need people's support
I
here.
mean,
This is it.
look, guys. Again, we've seen what can happen with big, bold moves against them.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing. We can't just keep paying out and doing all the research, doing all the funding, going to courts, doing all the traveling up and down the country with people, walking into court and going, you're caught. There's videos upon videos. I'm going to get, hopefully, Carly next week. She's going to do a literally montage of me going into these places, and you will see that the security guards are terrified. They don't move.
Yeah.
The court managers don't know what to do. They've never come across what de jure means, what lex terrain means, and what is in due process and the authority behind due process. We can now arrest the judge under due process. Under Section 24A of the Police and Crimes and Evidence Act, anyone who is suspected of committing an offence can be arrested by anybody.
And, like we've said, it is a numbers game. We do need that kind of support to keep on doing the work. And it is about bold moves because it is about kind of it's in all our myths and stories. It's always about standing up, isn't it?
Yep.
Fortune favors the brave, etc.
Yeah,
It's got to be
we've
big
all got
moves.
to
It's
look
got to
after
be
each other's
bold.
back. The point that I keep trying to get with the realm of England, we've got to look after each other. We've got to bring everybody together. And this is what my aim is. I'm now speaking to guys in America, New Zealand, Australia. We're coming together and sharing massive chunks of information. There's guys in Ireland that I spoke to 2-3 weeks ago that literally have gone away and gone, help, what did he just say? And I'm literally dealing, sort of going there and helping them and showing them how we found what we found and where it is, and so that they can bring their judiciary, guard, a police force back under public authority. Because without our consent, they don't have anything. And they're no longer working from our consent. They are working from the PACE Act, 1984, and secondary legislation. Well, secondary legislation you can't enforce. And they're now trying to claim that they can delegate power. Well, no, you can't delegate power. It's called the Katona principle, and there's a load more of principles out there and doctrines that you cannot delegate power more than once. And all power flows from us, the people. Right? And we've been usurped. We've been put now onto water as corporations. Well, your game is up. The trickery is unraveling. And every judge now is practicing law from the bench. Now, I don't know what people know about that, but that is massively significant because every order that's now been issued by the judge from the bench, if you don't plead guilty or not guilty, or they've not disclosed, they are now liable for every penny that they've awarded. And there's loads of case laws of it. Loads.
Yeah.
And it's huge, is this. The SRA must disclose their bonds, their sureties, their insurance details, if they've committed harm. Now, what they will try and wriggle out of is that they are not liable because you're not a corporate. Are you a man or a woman or a corporation? And this is what they try and sort of ask you in a roundabout way. And we've got an answer for it, which I'm not going to give on the air today because I don't want to warn them, which is going to be quite prolific for the SRA, because the SRA are now caught hanged to rights for fraud, because none of their operatives tell them that they're a Bargill registered through the SRA to the Lincoln's Inn, foreign state, can't practice law in England, but they're not, and they're under license. They're also under license to the SRA. They're also under license to the United Kingdom Corporation. So not only have they not disclosed one license, they've not disclosed three. Never mind any other agreements that they've got with being court officials. Their first duty is to the court. Well, hang on a minute. Who's paying you? Me or the court? Because the court can take a whoops up for me. I'm here, you're here to do my bidding, not that. But as soon as you sign a contract with the barrister, with the, what is it, you take on your corporate persona and they take all of your rights away from you, including your voice.
Yeah, so we just wanted obviously to do another kind of short, quick update because obviously we have just done a recent one the other day to kind of promote the GoFundMe as well and the work that we're doing because like as we've said, it is important that people kind of get on board. We're now entering this phase of direct challenge, lawful demand. Like we've said earlier, judges in both the upper and the lower courts are being lawfully called to disclose their judicial oaths and bonds. So without these, they have no lawful authority to act. They're operating in the wrong jurisdiction under corporate rule, without full disclosure, without consent, and in breach of the fiduciary duty. So they've got nowhere to hide, have they?
No, and this is what we're catching them on. But what they've hidden so well is, oh, we're not under fiduciary duty anymore. Yes, you are. Because to be in office, you have to be under fiduciary duty, no matter what role you take. And this is what, we've changed that to the Nolan principles. We've changed that to this principle. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can call it what you want. You are under fiduciary responsibility because that's how you are in position. Same with MPs, same with councillors, same with all the council employees. It doesn't matter if you're a bin collector or the chief executive. You have a responsibility in fiduciary duty. End of.
Yeah, yeah. And this failure to disclose evidence, which is acting again under administrative code, isn't it? And presuming authority over living men and women, it's not justice, it's fraud. And as we've said before, fraud vitiates everything. We're not the debtor, we're not the fiction, we're beneficiaries and creditors and executors of our own estate. The debt's paid, the system's failed. Here comes the realm, right?
Yeah, well, it's not only just the realm, but the key thing if people look up the Reforms Act, they will understand, or hopefully some of them will get what it actually declares. And I don't want to give the game away because I want people to look at stuff and give stuff a whirl here. Because when you start putting in the correct thing, that the sovereign commandeth and willeth by the king under royal command, you will do as you're told.
Yeah. And this is the key point, isn't it? What it all rests on, like I've said, something's gone terribly wrong. These people don't get to tell, they are public servants. They don't get to tell us what to do. And it is about supporting the cause, to continue this lawful work, which is what the GoFundMe campaign is about. And every donation will help us do the paperwork, file the lawful challenges, demand these public record disclosures, etc., and so on. It's not just a fundraiser. This is the end game. This is the stand.
It could definitely be the end game, because what we can now do is literally anybody that's had their property taken, anybody that's had their vehicle taken and crushed or resold or whatever, can now legitimately put in a void order, put in a permanent estoppel, put in a claim of fraud and deception, and reclaim every penny and damages that they have had to endure and suffer. Now, the courts aren't going to like this. The judges aren't going to like this. The police aren't going to like this. But personally, I don't care. They put their lives in the hands of a megalomaniac. This is tyranny at its absolute worst. This is arbitrary authority. You will do what we say, and it's in breach of the treason, not only the Treason Act, but it's also a breach of the usurpation of constitutional safeguards and principles and rights. It's also a usurpation of the inalienable documents, too many to list, and it's also a breach of the Fraud Act, their own act, sections 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 13 for the management under the 2006 Fraud Act. It comes under deception, it comes under perjury, it comes under failure to disclose, illegal conversion, the list of, the list of criminality that they're now conducting is, it's 7'3" long.
Yeah.
Never mind backing that up with all the evidence that we've got.
Yeah. And this is what we want people to, hopefully understand. And, it's not about my ego, this. Please share this video far and wide, all these videos, because that's the end of it. That's the end of your digital IDs, everyone jumping up and down in London. It's over. Or do you want your 15-minute city? Do you want to eat the bugs and be happy? You are a slave, Neil. Which one are you going to pick? Like, it's, we can't make it any more simple than that, or you can. Anyway, Robin.
No, I mean, the thing is, this is what's making me laugh with that with this digital ID, right? The UK government in 2008 was taken to the international courts and they lost, okay? And they lost massive. 2020, South Wales Police Force was taken to the High Court, Supreme Court, right? Who ruled that using biometric data was illegal. Couldn't do it without the consent of that man. And this was on facial recognition. Never mind what the government's trying to do now. All this is a look at this puppet while I magically lift your wallet with this puppet and take your wallet and take your rights away again. And we're going to steal from you. No more government. You're done. We want to put in a massive estoppel now to all of Parliament to disclose everything that they've done over the last 300 years.
Yeah.
Right? We've got to take them now and hold every politician to account, every councillor. Who gives you the authority to tell me that we're going to live in a 15-minute city? I'm not a corporation, you prat. I'm the living executor. I'm the creditor. Therefore, you will pay me what you owe me. Stuff your benefits, because I'm not a British citizen, I'm not under UK corporation rule. You will pay me my endowments, my policies that I've paid into for 30 years, 40 years. You will pay me my entitlements from the dividends of the 2.7 trillion you owe me.
Oh, I am waiting for that day.
No,
And on that note,
this is how powerful we can become if you put your left foot forward and then your right foot forward, then your left and your right, and we all march in tune. Exactly. This is where we can go.
Yeah. And this is why we need people to join the realm. It's so important at this point in our history. So, Robin, I know we were only going to keep this one brief. I know you're in court,
Do for me.
and I've gone over into the next Zoom meeting I have to have. So, thank you all again for watching. Please, please, please do join the Realm of England. Please do support the GoFundMe. This work is imperative, and it is the end of the game. Please keep an eye out for. We will put a video together of all the different court evidence. Our Alex is working on that. This is the hero's journey. Please do join us. Robin Hood, thank you again for all the hard work that you're doing for all of us. And we will again update soon and catch you next time.